Meet your new dentist, Dr. Hadfield in Lehigh. Dr. Hadfield is different than almost all dentists. He's one of the leading dentists in America using Sola laser technology. The Sola laser offers a more comfortable dental procedure using light energy and a very narrow focused beam. This means in most cases, no drills, no shots or numbing are needed. It's a much more comfortable dental experience for your family. Make Dr. Hadfield in Lehigh your dentist. Check it out at hadfielddentalcare.com.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Hear updates on the national and local Utah real estate markets. We cover residential and commercial properties. Plus, get inspiring ideas to make your house a home from our sponsor, Osmond Designs. Here's Heather Osmond and Jeff Caplan on KSL News Radio.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Thank you for listening. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. And we are working on the Utah Valley Parade of Homes right now. There are 40 incredible homes. There's probably more money that has been invested in this year's Parade of Homes than ever before. And lucky for you, today we are selling discount parade tickets. So you will save $3 per ticket. Plus you save that extra $1 online fee. So you're actually saving $4 per ticket, and you get a free bag and a free lanyard. So if you're in the area, stop by Lehigh or Orem, and we would absolutely love to help you buy some parade tickets today. Also, we have Jamie Walker. He is the owner of Walker Home Design. He has been on our show before. He's a regular. Welcome back, Jamie.
Thank you. Good to be here.
You are always in the know. You have so much knowledge. How many years have you been in business?
It's funny that you say that because next week is our 26-year anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel old when I say that.
You are kind of old, but that just means experience too.
Sure.
Hey.
We have Jeff Caplan in the house. We love having Jeff Caplan. Okay, Jamie, let's start off with just a brief introduction about you and what you do.
I first want to say a big thank you. As we were discussing the best of state, we had our clients and builders nominate us, and we've won best of state now for the 12th year in a row.
Congratulations.
And, also, along the heels of that was the best of Salt Lake. We've now won 5 out of the last 6 years. And it's all voted on by our clients and people like that. We were pretty excited that people are having a good experience with us. And in that 26 plus years, I did the math the other day. I've designed over 4,000 homes, remodels, townhomes, tiny homes, big custom homes, average size custom homes, and that's pretty cool. When I sit down and think about it.
Super cool. And Jamie, I've had the opportunity to work with you on several different projects, and your clients are always happy. You do a fantastic job. Your attention to detail is, out of this world, and you're so creative.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, I mean, I feel like we're always learning new things and getting better. The minute you think you know it all, there's something that pops up and you learn something new. So it's interesting when I go to teach classes at the International Builder Show or down here at the Southtown Expo. I do a lot of research and then realize, oh gosh, I need to learn more about this or that. And so it's very humbling to be asked to teach these classes and then still feel like I need more information to learn and things like that. So it's fun to keep learning and meeting new people and designing new things.
Absolutely. Okay, Jeff, before the show started, you were mentioning that there's some hot news.
Yeah, it just popped that U.S. real estate just jumped by the highest amount in a year, up 2.4% from April of last year. So according to Redfin, there's your appreciation over the past year on average in the U.S., 2.4%, up 1.6% from just last month. Now, You want to call that inflation, or you want to reap the rewards, or cry because you're looking for a house? Yeah. Or all three. Some interesting data just coming in.
And that can be good news or bad news, like Jeff had just mentioned. Yeah. If you are a homeowner, that's great news. If you are not, that's really bad news because the point of entry is getting harder and harder if you don't have either the income or parents to help co-sign or some other creative way to get into a home. Yeah. I will say this last week I went to an auction that was done on the courthouse stairs.
Oh, wow.
There was a home that I was interested in. an incredibly beautiful home in Mapleton. And I heard it was being foreclosed on. And I thought, well, I have some money. That would be really cool to go and buy this house.
Wait, they do this like in the movies on the courthouse steps?
For reals. Okay, so it was really, really good. So I go to this courthouse sale, and the home that I was interested in had already been removed. So I don't know all the logistics with that.
Somebody came in at the last second and saved it.
I think so.
Yeah.
But there were 2 other properties that were going up for auction. So there were 6 other guys and then myself standing there, and they were all really young, which I was very surprised about. And I just started asking questions like, hey, what property are you here for? And do you always come to this? And the young guy next to me said, yeah, I've purchased probably over 100 of these, which I was shocked.
Yeah.
And I then asked him, well, do you come every week? And he said, well, it just depends. And anyway, and he had mentioned that it's usually the same 6 guys that are on the courthouse steps right there. And this house, it's a townhouse condo, was bid up $1 at a time, $10 at a time. So we were there for quite some time. But there's always great deals on the market, which is very, very fun.
Wait, where did it land? Can you say how much it went for?
It went for $355,000.
Wow.
Wait, $1 at a time?
It was almost, well, I think it went to like $300,000, and then it started going $1,
Gotcha.
$10,
Yeah.
and so it definitely took some time. But Jamie, you help people build new homes, but then you also help remodel homes.
Oh, yeah.
So if you buy an existing home, much like this townhome, they said it was pretty trashed. I'd never seen the home. I was just a fly on the wall watching the process. But this is where you really shine.
Yeah, it's interesting you talk about that auction. That happened in our neighborhood one time, and the neighbors were going to pitch in and go get this property because it was the house was trashed, and that's usually what happens when they get to these. But it was interesting to see everybody flying up in their cars to do their quick walk around before they went to the auction. So doing your due diligence is a critical part of what those guys and anybody building a house, whether it's new or remodeled, can do, is understanding what the city codes are, what you can do with it, what you can't do with it. And it can be a blessing or a curse. If you buy something and then realize, oh, the city's only going to let me cover my property with 30% of a house, which is what they do in Mill Creek. If you didn't know that and you were going to bump out and add on, you'd be really upset if you got in there and found out you couldn't do this, or height restrictions and things like that.
So
it can be really tricky.
Heather, Jamie, you're obviously professionals in this business. And as a layman, I say, oh, foreclosure auction, what a great way to get a bargain. I should do that. So I'm wondering, is this really the province of professionals? You amateurs shouldn't be messing around on the courthouse steps. Or is this a way to find a bargain?
I would say
Both.
yes and yes.
Yes, I think both as well. But I will tell you, there are title issues that are involved with a lot of these properties. So maybe you were able to purchase the home for $355,000, but there may be other liens and encumbrances that you're unaware of. So you really do need to do your research and your due diligence for these.
Absolutely.
Not only did you have to come with a $20,000 cashier's check to this sale, but then you had to be able to close on it within 24 hours.
Yeah,
so
you
this
have
is
to have access to cash quick.
access to cash. So that's
The full price.
the full price.
Yep.
So if you're buying a $3 million home on the courthouse steps, you better be prepared and have that money sitting in the wings.
Yeah, you can get hard money lenders, or you can get banks set up, or I haven't done this enough to know all the ins and outs, but I would assume, things like other cash flow or family members or things like that, just so that you can take care of it, because that's why they're selling it, or auctioning it quick.
But could the average Joe go to the bank and say, hey, I need a quick loan. Let's set this up because I'm going to be on the courthouse steps Saturday?
I would say no.
I would say no, too.
You probably need a few weeks or a month, because they're going to have to check credit reports and all that.
But they'll do
stuff.
business if you're there
I
in
would
enough time.
think so, yeah.
And that's where I think having a credit line is very, very valuable. Maybe you currently live in a home that has a lot of equity. You could open up a second mortgage or a credit line, a HELOC loan, and then be able to pull that money to go buy things. But, we're all looking for our dream home. It's the American dream. And like we had mentioned, you need someone to help you design it so that it fits the time and place of your family. When I had a young family my needs were very different than now being an empty nester.
Yeah.
Jamie, I've seen all sorts of dream homes. They come in every price point and every style. And I think that's where you really shine, is that you can take the same floor plan and resurface it with a new exterior, and it looks like an entirely different home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's giving it a facelift, so to speak, is one of the big things that we can do on remodels. Is people that love their neighborhood, but they're like, you know what, I don't love the Brady Bunch house that we've been living in. What can we do? And so we'll talk about, let's swap out the windows. Let's change the stucco to hardy board and stone. Let's maybe modify the roof or things like that. Some of that can be fairly easy, and some can be more extreme. And maybe in the next segment we can detail that out.
Today we have Jamie Walker. He is the owner of Walker Home Design. I'm Heather Osmond, owner of Osmond Designs Furniture and Interior Design Stores, here with Jeff Caplan with KSL. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. In the next segment, we'll have more tips and tricks on space planning for your indoor space, your garages, and your outdoor. We'll be right back. Thanks for joining us.
We're back with the KSL Real Estate Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back to the KSL Real Estate Show. We're glad you're listening. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. And it is beautiful outside today. It is a great day to come in and buy a new recliner or a new sectional, or maybe that dining room set that you've been eyeing. We have 22,000 square feet of showroom space at our Orem location and almost that much space at our Lehigh location. So stop in with your truck and trailer, take it home today. And the great thing is most of it is one of a kinds. So you won't have the same things as 7 of your neighbors if you buy it from a big box store. So that's kind of exciting. Today we have Jamie Walker with Walker Home Design on the show with us. Welcome back, Jamie.
Hi. Thank you.
In the previous segment, we were talking about all the stats, the hot off the press info from Redfin about Utah's market, and also how to buy possibly foreclosures or great deals here in the market. But for this segment, we're going to talk a little bit about space planning. Yeah. We have an expert on, Jamie Walker, Walker Home Design. Jamie, give us some background here.
So I call it grown-up Tetris a lot of times. So when we design houses or you're designing a space, it's very helpful to understand what you're going to put in that space or how you're going to use it. A lot of times we'll talk to clients about island size. How many people are going to sit at the island? How are you going to use that space? How much space do you want as you walk around the island? I like 4 feet, maybe 4.5 feet. When you get into 5 and 6 feet, sometimes that's too much. But if you have 2 or 3 cooks in the kitchen, that might be great. So we like to ask a lot of questions about that. We also go into garage space. How many cars are going to park in there? What are your toys? What are the shop tools and things? We did a home last year for a bachelor, and I say a home, but what I mean is a garage. We did about a 6,000 square foot garage with a 2,000 square foot house.
That sounds like a bachelor pad.
It's a total bachelor pad.
That's
It'll be
awesome.
hard to sell this one unless another bachelor comes along. But understanding what was needed was this was an excellent case study on efficiency. The client was a woodworker, but he also needed a welding shop, and he also had certain cars and certain toys. And so by knowing the sizes of those, you can design the space and know how much room you're going to have walking around it and things like that. Going into your backyard, you mentioned the outside. We're starting to get outside a little bit more now that the weather's warming up. Do the same thing with that. Look at your space planning for yard and outdoor kitchen space. What do you want to do in your yard? Are you going to have water feature, fire pit? We just reorganized our outside gazebo, and we have a TV out there, and we're out there watching Ted Lasso with a little fire pit going and cracking up, and it's kind of a cool little addition. It's not in the house, but it's a room that now is outdoors, and with the nights that we have lately, it's such a cool place, and the kids now want to come outside and hang out, and they're not like, I don't want to go outside anymore. But stuff like that's awesome. Depending on where you're at with kids, playground space, and then gardening space. If you map all that out, if you're doing a remodel or if you're picking up a brand new property, planning that is so critical. Even if you're not going to do it for the next year or two, knowing where things are going to go is critical. Even with finished basements, some people buy a house or they design a home and they can't afford to finish the basement, but having a plan in place and knowing where the plumbing is going to go is huge. We've designed or finished so many basements from other builders or architects and had to cut through the concrete because the layout just wasn't thought through at all. And so if you can plan, that's a critical part of this. Knowing the sizes and use of a space is, I can't emphasize it more.
I agree. And just having the right team of experts in your pocket is so important. A great home designer like Walker Home Design, your team is fantastic. And having a great interior designer that can help with the scale and the style and the color selections and all of those things is so, so, so important. And oftentimes the best homes are more creative and they don't have a ton of money. And I can tell you, I have lots of experience working with people that have lots of money but don't have great taste.
Yeah.
And Jamie, I know, we've talked about that before.
Yeah. It's definitely good to have a plan and understand what you like and use pictures. Sometimes people can't describe what they want, but they'll look at a picture and say, hey, I love this. I don't like that. A lot of times we'll have clients send us their Google or their house account or their Pinterest board. And I always tell them, write a sentence about what you like or don't like about the picture. I used to have clients send me tons of pictures of things without any description. And we would sit down and start looking at it, and I would say, oh, I love the stone on this house. And they're like, oh, that's not what we like. We like the windows. We hate the stone. We even had a client one time come through one of our homes and say, we really love this plan. Can we go look at it? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that one's been built out in South Jordan. We coordinated with the homeowner. They went out and looked at it, and they came back, and they're like, oh, we're so glad we went through that house. We hate it.
You're like a psychologist.
And, there's a whole marriage counseling, psychologist, architecture, engineer, artist, and comedian sometimes. My wife says I'm the funniest guy I know.
You are pretty funny, I will say that.
But understanding, when you can walk through and see something, whether you really like it or not. We get clients all the time that call us and say, hey, I want the yellow house. Give me the yellow one. It's the one I love. And then I'll sit down and meet with them and go through our whole questionnaire, and it's really the blue house that they love. And so asking questions is a critical part of designing the right home.
Absolutely. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. Today we have Jamie Walker, Walker Home Design. How do people find you, Jamie?
Go to walkerhomedesign.com, our website. You can contact us there or give us a call, 801-930-9499.
And you are on social media.
Yes, all
Great
over the social.
stuff. Yes, absolutely. And if you're out and about today, please stop by Osmond Designs with locations in Lehigh and Orem for discount Parade of Homes tickets. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back. More on the KSL Real Estate Show.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Hear updates on the national and local Utah real estate markets. We cover residential and commercial properties. Plus, get inspiring ideas to make your house a home from our sponsor, Osmond Designs. Here's Heather Osmond and Jeff Caplan on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back to the KSL Real Estate Show. Thanks for listening. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. And it's a beautiful day. If you're out and about, please stop by Osmond Designs and purchase your discount Parade of Home tickets. The parade starts June 4th, and it is going to be an incredible show. Every single year, I think the previous year cannot be outdone. And here we are again. 40 homes, more money is invested into this year's parade than ever before, which is just unbelievable. I don't know where all this money is coming from, but it's amazing for real estate here in Utah. Today we have Jamie Walker. He's the owner of Walker Home Design. Jamie, sometimes people just wonder, what do you do?
I do. Well, like we mentioned, sometimes marriage counseling, social work,
Right.
but mostly design, engineering, artistic creativity, stuff like that.
So you're the guy I come to if I want to design my own house.
Yeah.
Or
so
remodel.
Isn't that a crazy idea? I grew up building houses as a kid with my dad and my grandpa, and I just kind of thought that's what everybody did. And then my wife, when we met, she lived in one house her whole life. But her mom and dad actually went to an architect and designed their house, but they didn't keep doing it over and over again. My dad used that money from one house to roll into the next one, and by the time he did it 5 times, he paid cash for the last house, which I thought was a cool investment teaching that he gave us as young kids. So I learned the trades on a small scale. I learned how to frame. I did drywall, finish work. I laid carpet on the weekend with my best friend's girlfriend's dad, and did tile work and roofing and little things like that. And just in Oregon, where I grew up, it was always raining. And so I thought, I really hate doing a roof in the rainstorm. So what can I do inside that's still creative? And that's how the architecture and the drafting and the design work kind of came to me. So when people come to us and say, well, what do you do? We do kind of like what you would think an architect would do. That's what I always thought architects did, was designed houses. But in reality, most architects design commercial buildings because there's more money in it. And so we design residential homes, townhomes, do a lot of remodels, facelifts, things like that, and give our clients a picture of what could be, and then they hire builders that go out and build it. And so...
Do you start from scratch?
Yeah, a lot of times what we do is, you've heard me say it before, we ask a ton of questions. So having done this now for 26 years and over 4,000 homes, we've modified our whole process to where we have a series of questions. So if somebody calls our office and says, hey, I'm thinking about doing a project, we return and say, okay, well, do you have money for the project? Do you have land for the project? Have you hired a builder? What's your budget? How many square feet do you think you want? What styles do you like? What city are you building in? Have you talked to the city about all the stuff? And we go through a whole list of pre-qualified questions. Then we'll sit down and do a quick, about a 30-minute PowerPoint that kind of shows the client what we're good at when it comes to their project and maybe what we're not so good at. Because I want them to know the whole thing and make sure that we're a good fit.
Well, that's
one way
really
or the
honest.
Other. Yeah. Some of the things we're good at is our team and our process is number one. A lot of times, I think that gets overlooked with businesses. When they go in to start a company, they might be great at plumbing or great at framing or great at doing concrete. But running a concrete business is much different than laying concrete or doing plumbing. You have to do marketing, you have to do sales, budgeting, networking, communication is a huge part of it.
Sure, that's any business, though.
How many times have you been not satisfied with a business that came highly recommended because they didn't run their business as well as they did their trade?
But it started with a great idea.
Yeah, and that's a blessing and a curse sometimes. So I was at least smart enough to know that I didn't know how to run a business. So when I got my degree, after I got my associate's degree in engineering and architecture, I got a bachelor's degree in business and marketing, and then a master's degree in business organization because I was so OCD on making sure the system flowed. So I love how companies like Disney or McDonald's or Chick-fil-A run their business, and you know what you're getting, and they have a smooth process. And so I've been studying even In-N-Out Burger, how they deal with problems and how they overcome and keep people moving through the line. It's the same thing with anything. If I have a client that wants their home done in a certain amount of time or they need it done by a date, I want to make sure that we deliver that. And I want to look at all the possible ways that this project could go bad and solve those before we even meet. And so after designing 4,000 homes and doing this for 26 years as a company owner and 7 additional years for other companies, I've assimilated a great team and a process and a way that we can design homes tens, sometimes hundreds of thousands less in cost for our clients than competitors of ours. We had a client just last year come to us in November, and we got the plans through the city in just a few weeks. They dug the hole a month, 2 months after they met us. He had it done in 5 months. And it was a 9,000 square foot house. He had it all done in 7 months and made $800,000 on it.
Wow.
I mean, it's crazy.
How long would you expect that project to take?
So a lot of builders would have quoted 12 to 18 months. So we got it done in half. I have other investors that come to me doing spec homes, and they're blown away when I show them this example. But if you care about the value of your money and your time, we're a great option in our team and efficiencies on building. Every time you cut a piece of wood and throw it in the dumpster, that's our client's money. So the way we design our houses are so efficient that you have less labor, less waste, and you get it done quicker. And we've done tons of homes like that. Appraisals come back hundreds of thousands higher, so now our clients can finish their landscaping. We had a client just the other day, a young couple, trying out this new thing called building a spec home and selling it. And they've got all these visions and everything, but they had to go through their due diligence, and they got caught on a few things, and they were so stressed they couldn't go over this square footage, or they were going to lose money on the sale that they thought they were going to get. They ran comps in their neighborhood, and they said, Jamie, we've got to be able to sell this for $2 million. Our appraisal has to come in at least at $2 million, and our build cost needs to be at 1.6 or 1.7, so they could have some profit in there. They called me up the other day, and their appraisal came back after we finished the plans and submitted them to the real estate appraiser. Their money came back, or their appraisal came back at $2.5 million.
Wow!
So $500,000 extra that they didn't think they were going to have.
All right, wait. After that pitch, you better give your website again.
So
seriously.
So Walker Home Design, you can go and look at almost 1,000 plans on our website to get the juices flowing. From tiny homes to super mansions to fun spaces. It's really a cool website. And the guy that we have running it, Braden, is just awesome at putting it together. And clients all the time say, I love your website. It's kind of like the perfect fishing lure. It gets people excited about designing a home. This journey that they're going on that they might be scared about. People come to me all the time after I show them this presentation, and they're like, I'm not scared anymore.
That's awesome.
And that peace of mind and trust is huge.
So part of designing a home is knowing what your needs are, what your budget is, all of those things.
Absolutely.
One of the biggest mistakes that I've seen is just working with cities. And Jamie, let's go over that a little bit.
So part of that PowerPoint that I show, I mentioned two things so far. Our process, our pricing we're really good at. We're creative at floor plans because we ask questions. We follow what's called the golden segment to make your home look good. We're creative. We talked about modifying exteriors. I have one plan on our website called the McLaren. We started naming some plans after supercars when we ran out of nieces and nephews. So there's one called the McLaren that has 12 different exterior styles for one floor plan. You could literally build this on the same street and nobody would know it's the same plan. Part of our process on item number one is our team at the front desk is amazing. Charlotte and April will call cities and do a bunch of due diligence for our clients. If they say, hey, I'm building in Draper, or I'm building in Salt Lake County or South Jordan or Harriman, they've got them on speed dial. They know the people that work at the office. They say, hey, we're looking at doing a house on this address. What do we need to know, or what are the red flags? So Mill Creek, for example, I have a good reputation or a good relationship with them. I don't know if my reputation is great.
And your reputation's probably great too.
If anybody from Mill Creek's listening, they might be, what? But I know the people at Mill Creek because I've been involved as we became a city. They've got a lot of restrictions that most people wouldn't be aware of. They only let you build on a certain percentage of your land, even though you have setbacks, which are pretty common. Mill Creek says, well, we want more green space between the homes. So we're only going to let you build on 25 to 33% of your land. Which if you designed a sprawling mansion, you might be caught off guard and it's covering 40 or 50% of your lot. We tell people about that before they build. Mill Creek also has a height restriction of 32 feet. The national norm is 35 feet. And then you have to ask questions, well, where is that measured from? And when we do stuff in Summit County, they actually educated me on 3 different ways you calculate your ground. Is it the final grade, which is what's left when you finish building, or the existing grade, which is what was there when you showed up with all the trucks to start, or the natural grade, which is what the pioneers walked on. And there's a difference between all of them because roads go in, the development happens, and the grades shift and change. What are they going to count? And knowing that kind of stuff is critical for whoever you hire as a team to help build your house or remodel it, and knowing this kind of stuff.
Some of the conversations that I usually have are investors or homeowners, and they're asking, should I add a room? Should I go up? Should I go out? Should I add a detached garage?
Yeah.
Quickly, what's your opinion of that?
So it depends is the quick answer. So we've done homes that people love their neighborhood, but they don't like the outside of their house and they need more space. Fields Mosley, if you remember that name from Channel 2 News years ago, hired us to do a house up by the zoo where we knocked the roof off this old pioneer home and went up because he couldn't go out because of the restrictions. But his home was built back in the 40s, and so we had a ton of engineering to do. So maybe we'll get into more of that in the next segment.
Jamie, how do people find you?
So check us out on our website at walkerhomedesign.com. You can also see us on social media, Walker Home Design on Facebook, Instagram. We're trying to get the TikTok thing going. I got to learn some new dance moves. Or just call us.
Or not.
Call us 801-930-9499.
Today we have Jamie Walker, Walker Home Design, on our KSL Real Estate Show with us. I'm Heather Osmond, owner of Osmond Designs Furniture and Interior Design Stores. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We're back with the KSL Real Estate Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back to the KSL Real Estate Show. We're glad you're listening. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. And I love real estate so much. Not only do I love helping people design homes that they love, I love working in the commercial industry. I'm also a real estate investor, and I love teaming up with the best of the best. Today we have Jamie Walker with Walker Home Design on the show with us, one of the best home designers in the state of Utah. In fact, you recently won Best of Salt Lake City and Best of State. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks to all the clients that voted for us. That was pretty cool. Very humbling.
Pretty cool. I think Central Bank, we have to give them a shout out. Let's do that right now real quick. They give money, which we all need money when we're investing in real estate. They have so many locations all across the Wasatch Front, and they're local. I know how hard I work in my business, and I love supporting local business. Central Bank, thank you for your support of this KSL Real Estate Show. Thank you for giving money for people that are needing loans on cars, SBA loans, commercial loans, kids savings plans, everything, construction loans. Please, please check out Central Bank. We love them. Keys to success, Jamie, surrounding yourself with the right team is the key to success, not only in life, but also in building a home or remodeling a home.
Yeah. Have you ever bought something just because of the price and then been disappointed a little later? That's happened to me a few times, especially with some different trades. And so creating a team and understanding the process before you jump into something is critical. Making sure if you're going to buy some property, knowing what the city is going to require, and then interviewing people to make sure you understand how their process is going to fit into all of that. Understanding the trades and how they're all going to work together, understanding what a builder's good at and what they're not good at is critical. If you're interviewing architects or home designers, look at a sample of their drawings. We have some on our website. You can see exactly what you're going to get with your plans. Buying something online sometimes doesn't give you everything you need to build, even though their prices are really low and they say buy this house plan. They're missing engineering. They're missing electrical layout. Sometimes they don't have basement designs. And you could hire somebody local like us and get all of that for similar pricing that you'd see on the internet. But yeah, reach out to us, 801-930-9499, and we'll ask you a few questions and see if we're a good fit for your project. And go to our website and get excited about what the possibilities are out there.
Where are the locations that you're most excited about right now, Jamie, that you're building?
Alpine's kind of a hidden gem. It's getting more and more expensive there. But right now we're doing a ton on the east side in Cottonwood Heights and Mill Creek. And people say, well, where's the land? And that's where, if you ask me how to find land, we could do a whole nother segment on looking where other people don't look. And right now we have real estate investors buying up homes, tearing them down and putting a new home in there, or even two or three, and then selling off one or two of them to pay for their house. But look where people don't look. Drive up and down neighborhoods, look for sale by owner signs, and don't be afraid to tear down something old and beat up and putting something new in an older location.
And I think that sometimes people don't realize that building a brand new home can be a dream or it can be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
Same with remodeling a home.
Yep. Remodels are tricky. You don't know what you got till you start digging into walls. And sometimes the engineering is outdated and things like that. But getting the right team together is a first great step. Use the experts.
Jamie, how do people find you?
So you can give us a call, 801-930-9499, or go to our website. You can contact us there at walkerhomedesign.com. And we're all over the social media stuff, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, that kind of stuff. But yeah, reach out, see if we can answer any questions.
And one thing that people may not realize is that if you go to Walker Home Design website, there's a lot of really great free information on there.
Yeah.
Just, hours and hours of fun on your website. So definitely check that out.
A whole questionnaire on questions to ask your builder, questions to ask your architect, questions to ask before you remodel, before you buy land, before you landscape. All of these I've filled out and created based on past experiences I've had, and they're all free downloads. Check it out and use that as a guide.
And if you're out and about today, please stop by Osmond Designs. We have a location in Lehigh and then also another store in Orem, and it's all in stock merchandise. In fact, we even have a 10,000 square foot warehouse that also is chock full of amazing stuff. And so you can take it home today. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be back next week.